Alright, it's time to start off episode 2 of a series that I'm never going to name because it's not an actual series, but only filler. I might be able to do all these levels a lot more easily because of the fact that I did Persona 3 dancing. And apparently, this one's supposed to be harder by the game's in-game difficulty rating, but it's always been a lot easier, so I think I'm going to have a much easier time with this. So me and my friend saw a little bit of this game, and basically, we couldn't stop laughing over Morgana's outfit. The rest looks fine. The crown, understandable, but he has the smallest pair of shoes I have ever seen, and for some reason we couldn't just we were laughing for a long time. A lot longer than we should have. I never really played rhythm games too much, and it's probably because I don't listen to music, but it's just I don't really know. It's both that and it's the fact that I always thought I would have never been able to focus. But I guess if there's nothing to distract you, it's not going to really matter. Like this. But it's like, it's so satisfying to play rhythm games, especially whenever you get things right. You know, even though Persona 3 is my favorite game out of the I guess, 4.5 that I played a little bit of Persona 1, not too much. I played Persona 5 the most, and I've played through it a lot, even though I haven't maxed out all the social links. That's kind of the only reason why I'm playing through it again, is because I want to see all of them. Because I missed Yoshida's, and I forgot who else I missed. It wasn't the star, but... Oh yeah, Kawakami. And the Fortune Teller too. I always forget about those two, but... Even though Persona 3 is my favorite, with Persona 4 coming in right after Persona 2, I played Persona 5 probably more than I played all of them together. No, just about the same, actually. So, like, even though I prefer the story of, like, 3 other games before Persona 5, the gameplay itself is a lot more fun and more engaging, especially with the social links. I find it a lot more satisfying to rank up in Persona 5 too with social links. And of course, having, like, the baton pass and being able to just sort of strategize a way to instantly kill a wave of enemies or a boss, because even though you're still kind of clearing past them pretty easily, most of the time, especially in the beginning, you usually have to have a setup for it, unless you fuse a powerful persona from the start, which is completely possible. I like this song a lot, but it's like, it's kind of weird for me. It's not as weird as Persona 3's dance with the male and female groups, but it still felt, it's just weird seeing Joker in a boy band. Also, I swear the original Persona 5 never had the instrumental version. Because I remember hearing it in Royal, and I was like, wait, is this supposed to happen? Because technically speaking, in Persona 5 Royal, you have it in 2 palaces. But I wasn't sure if it happened in the original game where you had an instrumental up until the, quote, final palaces. But, it's like, there's a lot of stuff in Persona 5 that's not in Royal, or stuff that was changed a little bit. Like how Takemi's voice actor is changed for the clinic owner. I didn't notice her voice actor changed from the jump between Persona 5 to Persona 5 Royal, but I saw a video pointing out that she had different voice actors, but even then I still noticed it like a lot more whenever it went from going to Royal to the original. It became a lot more noticeable. And now I'm wondering what more stuff that was changed to the point where I didn't notice it from the jump between the 2 games, but going backwards if I can notice it anymore. Oh, my battery is pretty low. I hope it actually doesn't die during a song. I wonder if it auto pauses. One of the worst things to ever feel is whenever you're playing an online game and your controller dies and you're just like, well, time to watch myself die. I'm sure there's better ways to spend my time than playing a rhythm game and discussing Persona content. You know, Yosuke's dances are actually really easy to follow. I haven't missed a single one yet, but I don't want to speak too soon, but it's at the same time, it's so easy and it's like the perfect pacing too. It's a little bit slower, but you have enough time to read it and it's not just putting a bunch of notes in your face, expecting you to somehow hit all of them. Oh wow, I actually got a brilliant. I didn't notice that. That surprise definitely fits the theme of Persona 5's music more than whatever Royal added, because Royal music, surprisingly, is a lot different. It still feels Persona 5-ish, but it's like the pop and jazz that's in regular Persona 5 music it fits a little bit more. I only got a stage clear, but my max combo is 448. This game's a scam. Quite literally too. Don't buy this game, it's way too expensive. I think I already went over this in the last dancing video, but Persona 5's credits theme wasn't really my favorite out of the three. I still really like it, but it's just there's songs in the base game that I like more than the actual credits itself, and I can't really say that for Persona 3 and 4's credits theme. But at the same time, it's like I like both the visual style of it. I think that one might be my favorite. Yeah, I was gonna point something out with Persona 3's. It's a lot more simpler, but it has like it's the blue tint and the green tint from the two different credits themes, but I'm not gonna count that because it's two different songs, so using that would be kind of unfair, but the actual style of it is really good. And it obviously matches the style of both Royal and Persona 5, because I forgot they changed it up slightly for Royal. I also like criticizing a lot of my favorite games too, because it's like, even though they're my favorite games, I still like pointing out like the faults in it and what could have been better, especially with The Answer, because even though Persona 3 is my favorite game, The Answer kind of had a lot of missed opportunity. Both like the base sort of plot element and in the whole trying to get over the grieving of someone that you care so dearly about. But other than that, the gameplay is kind of you kind of just took the only bad part about Persona 3's gameplay and made it the whole point of the game, which is battling. I still think that the story is good though, because like the map exploration, it's not like obviously it's from an older game, so it's not gonna have a lot to deal with, but it's just so I guess it is more of a nostalgic feeling for it, but moving around in Sumaru City is a lot. It's still a lot of fun, even though being compared to, say, Persona 5's map exploration, you probably will have just about the same fun on your first playthrough. Because everything doesn't have to be all 3D and fancy, you just have to have a sort of liveliness in the city or wherever location you're being in, unless your game requires not that, because I know a lot of SMT games, or at least Nocturne, revolved around like an apocalyptic style, and obviously that is a part of other ones, but all humans are basically gone from the earth and only demons rule over certain towns and everything. So it's supposed to feel a little bit empty with the signs of life here and there. And surprisingly, it is filled with a lot of life, even though they're all trying to kill you. There's still a lot of life, like demons that won't attack you, or just some that are just around around the street, or shopkeepers, or just a bunch of other stuff that's I need to play through Nocturne. I have not played through it myself, but I really want to. So you can still tell quite a bit about the gameplay a little bit. Obviously, there are certain moments where you can't fully tell how you feel about the gameplay, because I'm sure if you were to play through Persona 5 Royal versus watch it, the gameplay would be a lot more fun while playing it. And it would be pretty satisfying to watch it, like all these setups from baton passes and charges and buffs. It looks pretty satisfying to watch, but doing it yourself is a lot better. And playing through Persona 3 is a lot easier, or a lot harder than watching Persona 3, because I watched a playthrough before I actually played it through myself. And at first, I didn't even know that it was AI controlled. I just thought that the person was doing it so that they can, like, I guess, go along with the story. But after I played it myself, I was like, wait, they weren't doing that for, like, aesthetic, or just to be like, oh, I'm gonna go through without playing, or without controlling my teammates. You literally can't control your teammates. There's also the music aspect too. I love instrumentals, so that's why Persona 2 music ends up being some of my favorite, because it's a lot easier to listen on and repeat, especially things like Sumaru City compared to Tokyo Daylight from Persona 5, which is the overall theme if you didn't know, but it's honestly really I really like Sumaru City a lot, and it's really good to listen on repeat. However, I do feel a lot of nostalgia for Persona 3 music, which is kind of weird because, like, I barely started playing like 2 years ago. I mean, I bought a PS2 to play Persona 3 and 4 and Nocturne, but I still feel the amount of nostalgia I get from it. And I guess I did play games on the GameCube and N64 and stuff, but it's like, it still feels different from those. But with Persona 3 music, I really like it. Like, even though it's like split between even mixture of instrumentals to regular songs, and I think Persona 5 has like a wider variety of music, not including the pluses that, or combining both FES and Persona 3's standard music into one sort of thing. I guess it makes sense to combine those two together, but if I'm correct, Persona 5 still might have a little bit more music, but it uses a wide variety of like calmer instrumental music that you might not even notice. Like you'll notice that there's music, but you might not remember it too much. And not in the bad way, it's just like you can listen to it over and over again and not really get bothered by it. But whenever you hear the song, you'll still know that like, oh, I remember it from this scene and so on. You know, this game was actually a lot easier than I originally thought it would be. Which I guess makes sense. Persona 3 was harder than Persona 5, so the dancing games would reflect that. All jokes aside, I think this will be a lot quicker for me because the last video took like 3 hours in total, not including whatever time I took in between. I think it's just a lot more easier though because most of the songs are a lot slower compared to Persona 3's. So it makes it a lot easier to read what notes are coming next, and you can also there isn't too many complex things that really stand out. There is a lot of diagonals for the purple notes, but there isn't a lot of them. Like there's a lot of diagonals, but there isn't a lot at once, so it makes it easier to see. Also, I really like this palace theme. Kind of weird how this was the only palace theme that made it in and didn't get a remix. There's something stuck in my eye and I had to one-hand that and I saw multiple purples come up and I was like, oh no. Even though the full version of this opening has a 1-star rating above Persona 3's opening difficulty, I still find it much easier. I know it's like only a slight difference in difficulty, but it's supposed to be harder. I played Persona 5's opening in Persona 3 dancing, so maybe I should play Persona 3's opening, even though I've technically already done it. I just want to see if I can do it on my first attempt. I'll only give it one attempt. I still think that the song's a little bit more satisfying to land all the notes. Even though there's like a really satisfying feeling whenever you get past the difficult part. That's kind of all Persona 3's dancing's opening got for it. Is that it's like difficult and whenever you get past it, you get that satisfying feeling like, oh, I did this. Well, this one just has actual satisfying notes. Also, I got another brilliant. Oh, I got a brilliant on this one too. That one wasn't too hard. It moved pretty slowly and there wasn't too many complex notes. And it followed basically the same pattern. So that one was actually pretty simple. I do think it's cool that they show off these shows because it's like it's a way. I don't think it's a lazy way of doing things, but it's a way of showing the song itself because obviously playing a not a remix but a live performance of a song is a lot harder to both make the audio quality and also the type of audio itself. It's hard to make that into a different format. Although saying this now does give me like a lot of anxiety though, just because it's like coronavirus and everything. Seeing this large group really hurts. Like, but then you realize that oh hey, there wasn't a deadly virus going around that was easily contagious. But at the same time, it's still I don't really like crowds in the first place, but the coronavirus just kind of made that worse. You know, I feel like I'd be a big enough fan to go to like a live concert or play a Persona, however, or like any Persona game, but it's like I don't like big crowds. And even if there wasn't a virus going out right now, it'd still be hard for me because there's just way too much people, and it's not really my type of thing anyways. Also, I have 2 more songs left. Oh wait, I didn't actually complete it. I thought I did. What the heck? Well, anyways, there's one more fight, dance, whatever you want to call it. You know, they could have definitely had this song in for Smash because they put Our Beginning, but like, why? It's like a 1 minute long song that has like 20 seconds before it starts up again in a loop. Plus, Yadabaoth was like, you know, the final boss, so I'm actually really surprised that they didn't show it or have it on there. Maybe Atlas didn't. Maybe Atlas just didn't want spoilers, but at the same time, it's like they could have included a different song, even like maybe from another Persona game. Like, if they really wanted to, they could have had, like, Wipe and All Out, and they wouldn't even have to make, like, a pink alteration of Persona 3 Mementos. But at the same time, they could have had Wipe and All Out or Mass Destruction FES version. They could have had the Fog, since that wouldn't be giving away the final boss's name for Persona 4. They could have had Willpower, actually. I'm surprised that Willpower wasn't in the game. You know, Willpower actually makes a lot more sense than Arrow Beginning. And it's not spoilery either, because it's Willpower. It's the song that plays when they wake into their persona and one boss fight. I like the symbolism in Joker's dance right here. Like, all of them have had symbolism based around their character or the type of song, but at the same time, when it comes to both their openings and their final boss themes, there's a lot more in it. I just like what it represents, especially the characters, like, feeling or what they did during that one scene is, like, it's really good. I also like the unison dances too. It really feels like it should have ended there, but are they going to do anything else? No. Makoto is setting down her arms, and with Joker. That felt really awkward. I mean, I liked it, but like after looking at the other characters, it started feeling more awkward because they weren't really moving while the rest were like putting down their hands if they had them up. Oh, well, I guess it does answer my question why that pauses. Oh, you see that note at the top right? That's gonna be a miss. Oh, I got it. You know, wouldn't it be funny if online games with online competitive multiplayer paused the match if one of their controllers disconnected? So that way both of you had to suffer? Oh, that was actually pretty easy though. I don't think I failed. That's so much easier than our moment, by the way. I'll do it now because that actually went by a lot quicker. I was expecting to take at least 2 attempts, but that was pretty easy. Alright, let's see if I can get this song in my first attempt. I would honestly be happy with that more than getting a brilliant. I actually think that's my biggest combo on this level. I don't think I've ever made it to 100 before. And that was actually, like, really well. Wow, that was a lot easier. I mean, I knew what to expect on certain parts that tripped me up before because of the fact that they were so much more noticeable, but I'm actually proud of that. I can now establish that I'm the best rhythm game player to ever enter the scene. I don't even know how to quit. So as the new best rhythm game player, I'm going to play one more game, and I will never touch rhythm games for the rest of my life.